This is Mornings with Gail on Northern Colorado's Voice, 1310 KFKA.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys.
Well, while those overt calls to defund the police are somewhat on the decline these days, it begs the question, are more covert measures to strip law enforcement of their authority to maintain a peaceable society, law and order in play? 808 now, 1310 KFKA, 1310 KFKA.com, Northern Colorado's Voice, Mornings with Gail via the Auto Collision Specialist Studios. Consider Colorado Senate Bill 62, which could very well put the lives of Coloradoans in danger by removing law enforcement's authority to make arrests under certain circumstances. Let's dive into this with Jeff Clayton. Jeff Clayton is Executive Director of the American Bail Coalition, also a Colorado resident, quite well-versed in countless bills and lawsuits that have been introduced around the country within the past few years. Jeff, thanks so much for taking the time. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. All right, so let's start at the genesis of this bill. This is Colorado Senate Bill 62. Break it down for us.
Yeah, it really does a couple of things. The first thing is it prohibits officers from arresting suspects, petty offenses, misdemeanors, class 4, 5, and 6 felonies, and level 3 and 4 drug felonies. And, of course, there's a list of exceptions, but in the field and the practicality, it's going to result in fewer arrests in these cases. Second component of the bill is bail. No bail for, in other words, get out of jail free for class 4, 5, and 6 felonies, all misdemeanor, all 177 misdemeanor crimes in Colorado. And, you know, obviously there's a way judges can get out of it, but the end result of all of this is fewer people get arrested, fewer people are going to remain in jail pending trial.
So once again, does this take the teeth out of law enforcement, and is this another step in the ongoing effort that we saw, particularly during a time of COVID-19, to reduce jail populations?
Yeah, I mean, the jail population's dropped 37%, and we're still saying we have a problem with too many people in jail. But, yes, it does take the teeth out, and it subjects us to consistent second-guessing of why law enforcement arrested somebody in the first place. And, of course, in these times, they're going to err on the side of not arresting people, and cases are going to slip through the cracks, and people are going to get hurt.
And this during a time when crime is on the rise. I've had the opportunity to talk to not only Greeley Police Chief Mark Jones, but Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams. Well, the way they describe it is serious crimes, and serious crimes indeed of a magnitude that do pose a danger to the population, to all of us. Serious crimes are on the rise, and that is a trend that we are seeing not only in the city of Greeley and Weld County, around the state, but indeed around the country.
Absolutely, it is around the country. And to say that, you know, we want 3 get-out-of-jail-free cards for all Class 4 felons in Colorado is a big statement. But that's what this bill says. And it would be a whole different ballgame if it was no arrests and no bail in petty offenses. But the reality is we did that in Colorado 2 years ago.
So I am the mistress of the obvious here, and it's an old radio trick. You never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. But, Jeff, riddle me this. How does Senate Bill 62 in any way, shape, or form possibly make all of us safer?
It can't by design, and its sponsor, the ACLU of Colorado, knows that. It has the veneer of safety, but in reality, all this is going to do is let dangerous offenders slip through the cracks, not getting arrested, not having to post bail, not having to land in jail, and getting away with it.
Another question is the total, the idea of this bill. Is it about reducing jail population, or is it about protecting suspects over victims?
Well, therein lies further deception, because the title of the bill is Jail Population Management Tools. Well, what does that mean? Well, that's veneer, that's code for this is actually something else. And, you know, we know what it is if we read it.
Now, where do you see all this going? I mean, we've got a rubber-stamped legislature under the state gold dome. And will we be aware enough of what this bill entails? Because, again, it is cloaked in deception, as you so articulately said. But where will this go?
You know, it's hard to say at this point. I'm hoping that the governor might jump into it. As we've seen in a couple other states, when we do these big arrest and bail reforms, it just causes a problem. And the ultimate touchstone of all this, and I've been involved in long this to know, is let judges make these decisions. Are they getting it wrong? I don't think so. And that's what we need to do. So this would completely get rid of that and say judges are getting it wrong when they want to do bail, and cops are getting it wrong when they want to arrest. We don't need a system like that.
No. Jeff Clayton, Executive Director of the American Bail Coalition, also concerned, Colorado resident, as we all should be when it comes to Senate Bill 62, 814, now 1310, KFKA, 1310, KFKA.com. All right, so tell me this. Was I getting a little bit ahead of my skis comparing this to the Defund the Police movement? Are the sponsors of this bill actually trying to capitalize on the momentum of that movement by taking power away from law enforcement, or are they simply doing what politicians do, and that is pandering to their base?
Well, I don't think this has anything to do with the defund movement or the momentum, really. Maybe on the arrest side, maybe they're focusing on arrest this time instead of bail. Bail reform has been going on in Colorado. Attempts to reform the bail system and weaken it since 2013, and to strip judicial discretion since then. So I think this is just one more continuation of that. But it is an attack on officer discretion. You know, that's definitely clear from this bill.
Jeff Clayton, Executive Director of the American Bail Coalition. Thanks so much for bringing this to our attention, for your insights, your perspectives this morning. And where can we learn more about you and your work with the American Bail Coalition?
Yeah, go to our website, ambailcoalition.org, or hit us up on Facebook.
Thanks again for your time, Jeff. Certainly do appreciate it.
You got it. We'll let you know what happened.
Sounds like a deal. 8:15 now, 1310 KFKA.